Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are all well. So today we will discuss about how to attempt the part D and part E of your paper 1 style business studies questions. So for part D, usually the marks are 6, and what is the distribution of these marks, we will see that. And for part E, again you have 6 marks. So mostly part D starts with explain something, and part E starts with a statement followed by justify or recommend. Sometimes they might say, what do you think? What do you recommend? So there you have to take a position after displaying your skills. Now let us talk about what skills do they expect. So for the D part, they expect you to have knowledge skill. So if you have read the book, you can gain knowledge skill. You can gain knowledge skill by learning some terminology, learning some formulas, or you can gain knowledge by learning some advantages, disadvantages, some common themes, some common bullet points that are given in the book. So these all constitute knowledge. So knowledge can be displayed by whatever you already know. However, they also require another skill that is known as application. For application, some students do a very nice thing that while reading the question in the stem means the small case that is given as a data response. So they usually underline all the key facts and figures. For example, if some business is a sole trader, they would underline sole trader. It has 120 employees, they would underline 120 employees. They have this, they focus on value addition, they would underline value addition. So then later on you can use those underlined facts or figures in your answers. These will be called application. So application skill is whenever you remain within the context of the business and you relate with the given case. What do we mean by the context? The context means if you are talking about a bakery, the context would be whatever happens in the bakery or whatever is given in the case or the paragraph. Second, context would also mean that some things might apply or might not apply to the given business. So you have to remain within the context so that you know what can be written or what should not be written. Finally, you've got the skill of analysis that you need to display in part D. By analysis, we mean three things. Analysis is about the effects. It is about consequences. And finally, it is about likely reactions of something. For example, we have studied the topic of added value. Added value is selling price minus cost of raw materials bought in. So, if the company chooses to increase the selling price, what might happen? Whatever you would say as an answer, that would be construed as analysis attempt. For example, a student might say, using the knowledge of economics, they might say that whenever the prices rise, keeping all other factors as constant, the demand of those products may fall. So that is a likely consequence or a result or a reaction of increasing the selling prices. Or you might say, if the prices are increased, some of the customers might not be willing to accept the product at a higher price unless you have added some value. So this is kind of analysis. Analysis means some likely impact or in effect, some likely result or consequence, or likely issue or reaction that might result from doing something. So usually examiners are very happy if you make a chain of analysis. What would happen next? What would happen next? So you have to relate the bookish knowledge with the case. That would be known as an attempt of knowledge with the application. And then if you see the potential impact of that thing, that is known as analysis. So analysis usually means breaking down some phenomenon and then discussing about the each component. Then synthesis means bringing all those components back together. But here analysis in business studies would ideally mean discussing the impacts or likely consequences or results. And you might use these words in order to uh, signal the examiner that you are about to do analysis, that this might lead to, as a result, this might happen. If this happen, then that happens. So, therefore. So please plug in your analysis after these words. So it is, or you can say, consequently, which means as a result. Consequently, if this happens, then that might happen. For example, if the prices are increased, then the demand might fall. So the same analytical skill is expected in part E as well. Well, there are two kinds of part E available, one at the end of your books, the other is available at the actual past papers that we are currently having, maybe past paper 2022, 2020 or 2021. If you can somehow download those, you might see that the final E part usually is now missing the company that they are talking about. It is usually a general question. If it is a general question, then application is not required. But in your book, I've seen that all of the questions would require application because they have usually related it with the business as well. So there you would have to show application skill. Same skills of knowledge, application, analysis. However, an additional skill will be required in your part E mostly, where you have to justify. That would be evaluation skill. Now, what is evaluation? So evaluation has two main parts initially. Although we will develop this understanding more after studying more chapters, but for the time being, please let us limit this discussion and find that analysis is about, evaluation is about taking one side or recommendation or judgment. You have to give your judgment or you have to recommend something that I'm taking this side. And in this case, analysis would be either effects, consequences, or reactions, or you can relate your point to some cost or some benefit of the business. So if you have given some knowledge point, try to apply it, and while applying it, please make sure that you relate it to some, or you show its impact as some cost increase or decrease. If cost is increasing, it is against the benefit of the company and it might be reducing the profits. And if the cost is decreasing, it might be increasing profits. If the benefits are increasing, the risk might be decreasing. If the benefits are increasing, then the profit might be increasing as well. So you can likely relate to the business, and then you analyze it by relating it to some cost increase or cost decrease, or benefit increase or benefit decrease. Usually the benefit would be profit or revenue. Revenue is another word for sales. So usually for services business we call it revenue. For goods selling business we call it sales. It is prudent to have both words together. You can say sales revenue. So this is how you have to display your skills in order to get more marks in paper 1. So ideally, if you go to your page VII of your book, your course book, that is by Peter Stimson and Karen Borrington. So page VII would and VI would give you those command words or keywords. So these two command words were given, and this is how you have to attempt these questions. I hope this video will be helpful. Some other time I will try to make a video, inshallah. It would be with a practical example, maybe from a past paper question, that how to actually score more marks by understanding what the examiners are expecting from these part D and E. For part C, usually it would be outline. If it is outline in part C, you know that there are 2 marks for knowledge and 2 marks for application. So you have to apply it twice with both marks of knowledge. Apply it once. And for E, usually 1 mark would be for knowledge. If there is application, 1 mark would be there. 2 for analysis, 2 for evaluation. But if application is missing, it would be 2 marks altogether. I mean, if the examiner is not interested in application, so knowledge will gain 2 marks, analysis will gain 2 marks, and evaluation, which means you are taking one side, that would gain you 1 mark, and why are you taking that side, analyzing that would give you another mark. That what would happen if your choice is implemented. And in longer questions, which would be in paper 2, we would see that even the alternative that you rejected, you have to supply the reasons why did you reject the alternative. So if only one point is being mentioned, try to see both sides of the picture. Normally students do that, they only see one side of the picture. They would discuss only advantages or pros, they will forget about the other side, which might be the cons or the negative side or the other side. So have a balanced opinion, which means try to supply more advantages, less disadvantages, so that you can take the favorable side. Or if you want to do the opposite, you can say that you can supply few advantages and more disadvantages, so that you can say later that no, this decision should not be taken. So it is all up to you. It doesn't matter which side you take. What matters is your logical reasoning that you back your answers up with. So I hope this video you will find helpful, and you'll be able to score well. And what is the marks distribution over here in part D? Obviously 2 marks for knowledge, 2 marks for analysis, and 2 marks for application. And in part E, usually 2 marks for knowledge, 2 marks for analysis, 2 marks for evaluation if it is not related to the case. If it is related, then 1 mark for knowledge, 2 marks for analysis, 2 marks for evaluation, 1 would be for application. So in your book, these are the questions. This pattern will be followed in your book that I'm rubbing. You can go back to the video and you can see that again. But this pattern will now be followed by the Cambridge. In recent examination questions, they're adopting to this new format where there are no marks for application because the question is general. So I hope this video was helpful, and inshallah I hope you score good marks. Take care.